Dear viewers, what if the forest wasn't just dark, but listening? Abandoned beneath whispering trees, two children follow a trail of moonlit stones, only to discover that some paths lead not home, but into the jaws of something far more terrifying than hunger. Tonight, step into the forest of whispering stones, where breadcrumbs vanish, sugar hides secrets, and courage is the only thing that can survive the flames. Are you brave enough to enter? The story unfolds like this. Dusk settles over a tumble-down cottage, clinging dangerously to the edge of a forest. The wind sighs through the dark trees, carrying an almost audible, chilling whisper. Hansel and Gretel, small and vulnerable, watch their weary woodcutter father chop wood, his axe echoing ominously. The skinny, anxious stepmother stands in the cottage doorway, her gaze fixed on the haunting tree line. Her eyes, wide with a silent dread, seem to pierce the encroaching shadows of the forest. A profound sense of unease hangs in the air, a chilling approaching to the darkness that looms. In a dim, cold cottage, the stepmother paces, her elongated shadow dancing erratically on the rough-hewn wall. The woodcutter sits hunched on a worn stool, his shoulders slumped in defeat, his gaze fixed on the dirt floor. Hansel, a small boy lying on a straw mat, fake sleep, his eyes tightly closed, but his ears are acutely tuned. The stepmother leans closer to the woodcutter, whispering,
"We have nothing left, my dear. This winter will claim us all. There's only one way. A terrible choice, but for the children's sake, we must consider it."
Under a pale crescent moon, Hansel slips from the cottage, a shadow against the dark night. He moves with stealth, his young form barely visible as he approaches the riverbank. Smooth, white stones gleam faintly by the river's edge, catching the moon's ethereal light. Hansel kneels, his hands carefully selecting each stone, a silent purpose in his every movement. He fills his bag. His face, set with quiet determination, reveals the gravity of his secret mission. The morning sun struggles to pierce the dense canopy, casting long, eerie shadows as Hansel and Gretel walk hand in hand. They walk deeper into the forest with their parents, the trees growing taller, branches intertwining to form a thick, shadowy ceiling. Hansel quickly drops white stones one by one, each glinting briefly like a tiny light of hope. The small stones settle on the dark forest floor, leaving a shimmering, almost magical trail behind them. With each step, they move further into the unknown, the shimmering path, a silent promise in the deepening gloom. The woodcutter and stepmother stand before a massive oak, their faces masks of fake sorrow and grim resolve. Hansel and Gretel, small and helpless, stand beside the ancient trunk, their eyes wide with uncertainty. The parents turn, their figures quickly swallowed by the dense, unforgiving foliage. Gretel's lower lip trembles, a wave of realization washing over her as the silence deepens. Her small sobs begin, echoing in the sudden, overwhelming quiet of the deep forest. The vast, ancient trees loom over the abandoned children, casting long, threatening shadows. Hours later, a luminous disk of moon ascends, bathing the forest in a delicate silver glow. Hansel points to the ground, his finger tracing a path of scattered, almost glowing white stones. Gretel, her tears now dried, clutches Hansel's hand tightly, a fragile hope blossoming in her young heart. They follow the illuminated trail, each step sign of their flexibility and growing hope. The glowing stones form a clear, hopeful path before them, guiding them through the silent, watchful forest. The cottage door creaks open, silhouetting Hansel and Gretel against the bleak night. The woodcutter, hunched over a cold hearth, looks up, despair and relief warring on his face. He scrambles to embrace his children, tears freely streaming down his weathered face in a torrent of emotion. In the deep shadows, the stepmother stands rigid, her posture betraying a palpable and chilling fear. The cottage feels colder, a chill seeping into the very bones of the room, as unspoken hunger hangs heavy in the air. The stepmother walks with jerky movements, her eyes darting nervously between the children and the hunched woodcutter. Hansel, faking sleep on a straw pallet, subtly shifts, his young ears straining to catch every whispered word. The stepmother leans close to the woodcutter, her voice a hushed, urgent whisper, a sinister plan unfolding.
We must take them deeper into the forest, so deep they'll never find their way back.
In the rustic cottage, flickering candlelight casts dancing shadows, bringing the humble surroundings to life with an eerie glow. Hansel, his brow furrowed in deep concentration, carefully breaks off small pieces from their little loaf of bread. His dirt-smudged fingers, a sign of his hardship, carefully tuck each tiny breadcrumb into his bag. A plan, fragile yet determined, forms in his young mind, a silent rebellion against their cruel fate. Deep within the forest, the children are led by their parents deeper into the woods, the familiar river's whisper fading into the distance. Twisted oak trees loom, their gnarled branches reaching like skeletal fingers against the morning sky. Hansel, with a secret glance, quietly drops a trail of breadcrumbs onto the forest floor. The ground beneath them is alive. Birds with beady, coal-black eyes dart and peck, unnoticed by Hansel. The breadcrumbs vanish almost instantly, consumed by the hungry birds. At the forest's edge, Hansel and Gretel's parents rush away, their faces etched with grim resolve. They leave the children abandoned at the base of an ancient, gnarled tree, its branches like twisted arms. The parents' steps are quick, their retreat offering no chance for the children to follow. Gretel looks up at Hansel, her face a mask of dawning realization and profound fear. The gnarled tree looms over them, a silent, imposing witness to their abandonment. The parents disappear into the trees, leaving Hansel and Gretel alone in the vast, indifferent forest. The late afternoon sun struggles to pierce the dense canopy, casting an eerie gloom over the forest path. Hansel frantically scans the barren forest floor, his eyes darting side to side, searching for the lost breadcrumbs. A rising wind rustles through the trees, their branches swaying and whispering a chilling chorus of lost, lost, lost. Despite her own fear, Gretel stands with a determined, though trembling posture, facing the encroaching darkness. Dusk descends upon a dense forest as Hansel and Gretel wander aimlessly, the last sunlight filtering through the canopy. Long, distorted shadows stretch across the forest floor, mirroring the children's growing unease. Gretel's small hand clutches Hansel's, her knuckles white with fear, yet her spirit remains unbroken. Her lower lip trembles, but she bites it, a silent vow to hold back the tears that threaten to fall. She looks up at Hansel, her wide eyes reflecting the dim light, filled with a quiet, firm resolve. With a defiant spirit, Gretel declares to Hansel,
"We will find our way."
3 days later, Hansel and Gretel, weak and weary, stumble through the dense, unforgiving forest. Their clothes are ripped and stained with grime, their faces etched with the stark reality of hunger. Suddenly, a break in the trees reveals a clearing, bathed in an almost otherworldly sunlight. Their eyes, dulled by despair, widen in disbelief at the sight of a cottage unlike any they've ever imagined. The cottage shimmers with an impossible sparkle, a light of hope, or perhaps a tantalizing illusion. A wondrous cottage emerges, its walls gleaming with golden sugar bricks, a confectionery marvel under the sun. Melted caramel forms the windows, hinting at sweet secrets within. As the roof glitters with crystal candies, the air thickens with the intoxicating scent of warm honey and chocolate, a delicious, dreamlike embrace. Gretel whispers, her eyes wide with a mixture of disbelief and profound wonder at the fantastical sight. Her voice barely audible, Gretel questions the impossible beauty before her.
Perhaps this is a dream.
Hansel and Gretel approach the candy house with hesitant steps, their faces etched with a mixture of awe and fear. Fingers trembling, they break off a piece of a sugar brick, the sweet scent wafting through the air. They taste the forbidden treat, their eyes widening at the profound sweetness, a shocking contrast to their recent hunger. A look of pure, unadulterated joy spreads across their faces, erasing the weariness that had shadowed them. The simple taste of sugar transforms their world, a brief moment of bliss amidst their harsh journey. The candy house door creaks open, revealing an old woman with unnervingly bright eyes and silver hair. She steps out, a smile almost too sweet gracing her lips, hoping with a falsely comforting voice.
"Oh, you poor dears. You must be so lost and hungry. Come in, come in."
The children, lured by her words and the promise of food, step into the enchanting yet threatening house. The witch's kitchen, harshly warm, overflows with the sweet, syrupy aroma of freshly baked treats. The witch, her eyes gleaming with an unsettling intensity, gestures toward a lavish meal spread across a wooden table. Hansel, cautious, observes the artificial warmth of the room, a subtle unease flickering in his gaze. After they finish eating, the witch leads Hansel, her smile unnervingly wide. She stops before a cage, its bars fashioned from twisted iron vines, a chilling trap. The witch shoves Hansel into an iron cage, its heavy door clanging shut, echoing through the cluttered kitchen. Her gaze hardens on Gretel, commanding,
"Now you! Get to cooking and cleaning!"
Gretel, eyes wide with terror but a flicker of defiance, begins scrubbing a grimy pot. Her gaze constantly shifts to Hansel, a silent, desperate promise passing between them. In the witch's kitchen, bubbling cauldrons cast an eerie glow, the air thick with the scent of burnt sugar and dark magic. Each day, the skinny witch with gnarled fingers reaches into a small cage, demanding to feel Hansel's arm. But quick-witted Hansel offers a thin chicken bone, a clever deception against her ravenous hunger. The witch's eyes, clouded by age and greed, fail to pierce through his cunning trick. She pulls her hand back, unknowingly fooled, as Hansel's small act of defiance buys him another precious moment. In a chaotic kitchen, bubbling cauldrons steam as the skinny witch walks, her face a furious scowl of impatience. Her wild hair frames a face contorted in rage, her eyes burning with a sinister hunger. She gestures wildly towards a large brick oven, a dark promise in her every movement. Gretel, a young girl, stands timidly by the oven, her small hands clasped in front of her. The witch's voice slices through the air.
I will feast today. Check if the oven is hot enough, Gretel.
Gretel's voice trembles.
I do not know how. Please show me.
The witch, muttering darkly, hunches over the roaring inferno of her oven, its flames licking at the air. Seizing the desperate moment, Gretel shoves the witch with unexpected, fierce force. The witch topples headlong into the fiery maw of the oven, her form swallowed by the blaze. A piercing shriek erupts, abruptly silenced as the flames consume her, a chilling end. The entire house shakes violently from the impact. The forest outside scream, a first response to the witch's death. As Hansel sees his chance, Hansel struggles against the cage. The house itself begins to melt, its sugary walls dissolving into a sticky, sweet ruin around them. He pushes with all his might, the bars bending and breaking under the surge of his newfound strength. Hansel breaks free, just as the last of the sugar walls dissolve, the enchantment shattering into dust. A wave of relief washes over Hansel as he stands amidst the ruins, the nightmare finally over. From the witch's oven, not just smoke, but a cascade of glittering jewels and precious stones spill forth, sparkling. Hansel and Gretel stand awestruck, their faces illuminated by the unexpected, dazzling treasure. The children's eyes widen, mesmerized by the jewels, a magical reward from the fiery depths. With trembling hands, they quickly begin to fill their pockets. The weight of the treasure, a sweet victory, a glint of triumph in their eyes. Hansel and Gretel gather their unexpected bounty, their bravery rewarded. They emerge from the dense forest, their faces streaked with dirt, their eyes bright with newfound resilience. They clutch crude sacks, the weight of the jewels within evident, as their humble cottage stands before them. The woodcutter, their father, catches sight of them from his porch, his axe forgotten beside him. He collapses to his knees, tears streaming down his weathered face, his sobs of overwhelming relief and joy. The jewels they carry glitter softly, a promise that hunger will no longer haunt their days. Yet, the memory of the whispering stones in the forest lingers, a quiet echo of their difficult and dangerous journey.